Hi there, my name's Steve, and last week it was my birthday. I'm not going to say how many years, but I was bought a present by my family, and this is the present. It is a Bresser 5-in-1 weather station. I've got to admit that when I pulled the packaging off, I must admit I was a little bit underwhelmed, and I wanted to know why the family thought it was an appropriate present for me. Well, the answer I got back was very much, well, you're always going on about the weather, so we thought we'd get your own weather centre. So I thought, well, I'll give it a go and install it. It's actually currently installed outside, but I have seen some reviews on Amazon which were really quite negative. So I thought I'll give you my take on the Bresser 5-in-1 weather centre. Honest to goodness take on it. I'm no expert on the weather, but I thought that I'd do a belt and braces review of it. Firstly, just a note about the packaging. All the packaging is recyclable, and the hardware comes in a papier-mâché insert, which is very, very robust. There was no problem with the unit when I pulled it out, no sign of damage. And so from that point of view, the packaging seems to be more than adequate. Included in the packaging is a bracket, and this bracket is if you need to mount the unit on a pole. In my case, that's not necessary because I've actually mounted the unit on a 4-inch by 2-inch wooden post. The instructions indicate that you should mount the unit minimum of 1.5 meters above the ground. Again, in my case, that's not a problem because I've mounted it some 3 meters above the ground. One thing you need to bear in mind is that you'll need to buy batteries, 6 of them. In my case, I bought the Duracell Plus batteries. They cost about £3 around here for four pieces. The instructions, which are very, very comprehensive, indicate that you should install the batteries first in the receiving unit, which is the display module, and then secondly into the sensor unit itself, which is the external unit. The batteries are pretty easy to install, and it just took me a couple of minutes to install all 6. So what I suggest we can do is let's go outside, look at where I've installed the unit, and with some comments about it, and then come back in and talk a little bit about the receiving unit, which is the display module, and it's for your information. Thanks. Today's really calm, and there's virtually no wind around at all, and it's really quite warm today, highly unusual for the last day of February. But hey, the unit seems to be functioning fine. I'm going to now interpret some of the readings we're getting to see how accurate it is against what the UK Meteorological Office says that is the current conditions for our area. You can see the wind cups to the right, and below that is the wind direction vane, and then to the left there you've got obviously all the sensing centre. This unit's positioned directly north. Fortunately, the fence post is pointing north. There is a direction arrow on the top of the unit which indicates which way it should be positioned. As you can see, there's nothing behind us here, so we should get some good readings, and hopefully the data that we get from it will tally up with what the UK Meteorological Office says. Just on the fixing, I've secured it to the this rectangular 4x2 post. I used six 650mm Bresser cutter screws in in brass cup washers. Might seem a bit of an overkill, but we get pretty strong winds here, mostly coming westerly, as we're only a quarter of a mile from the sea, the Irish Sea in Liverpool Bay. So I thought maybe a bit overcautious and put an additional 2 screws in, as opposed to the 4 main fixing holes in the corners. So it's fairly robust, it's in position, and seems solid enough. Let's see what it's like. Maybe make another video in a year's time to see what's been happening. Okay, we're inside now, and we're just going to look at the various readouts from the display unit here. As you can see from even this very belt and braces video, it is very, very clear. It's all digitized. If you start from the left side here, that is the date, and that's CET, Central European Time. It's not GMT. But you can actually override this to any time you want. You can alter it to any time you want. I'm going to leave it at Central European Time because it will probably change anyway for daylight savings. On the right side there is obviously the current date, which is Sunday the 28th of February 2021. The indoor humidity is currently at 44% and 21 degrees internally. That is in Celsius. If you just look at the left here, there's a little bar icon, and that is indicating the strength of the signal from the sensor unit outside to the basically to this the readout station here. It's currently very, very strong, so we should get hopefully good information which correlates with the UK Met Office data. Currently the outside temperature is 11.6. Now there may be some, if I compared it with the UK Met Office, their weather station figures are generated from about a mile away from here, right on the seafront. So there may be some slight variation between their data and this data shown here, but that's totally understandable because they're completely exposed to the sea, whereas we're about a quarter of a mile away, just over a quarter of a mile away as the crow flies, so there is some shading. Left side is your 12-hour forecast. That's saying that it will become cloudy. And that does correlate currently with what the UK Met Office is saying. On the right side here is the wind direction, and that's saying that currently it's coming from the south. And underneath that is the current wind speed at 1.8 miles per hour. You can actually change those values there to kilometers per hour, or you can also change it to meters per second. I'm going to keep it on miles per hour because that then tallies up with the UK Met Office. On the left here, this 1038, that is the current barometric pressure. I've got that set in pascals, which again correlates to how it's reported on the UK Met Office. Below that row here is the historical data, and that will give you information on barometric pressure, rainfall, wind speeds on an ongoing basis. And you can pull that off on the basis of hourly, daily and weekly. I'm not too au fait with that just yet because I've only had the unit a couple of days, so I just need to do some more research on that. And then finally, on the right side there is the indoor dew point, which is 7.6 degrees Celsius. Again, I'm not totally au fait with what that means, but obviously as I get more familiar with the unit, that'll become a bit clearer. But as you can see, I think the unit displays very well. It's very clear, even with somebody with my not so good eyesight, and so I'd say yes, it's pretty good. Just to repeat from earlier, the only downside, I'd say, if it's not at the correct elevation, then the figures can become quite difficult to read. But that's a minor thing. As long as you keep it on the stand, it is very readable. I've currently got the Met Office forecast on the phone here in my left hand. It's a little bit difficult to try and do this. This is a very unsophisticated video. And the UK Met Office is giving me figures as follows. External temperature at 10 degrees. It's got the current humidity at 68%. And has the wind speed at 4 miles per hour coming from the east, and a barometric pressure of 1037. Now, given that the weather station here is right on the seafront, as I said earlier, I think that's pretty good. That's pretty accurate, and I think the unit itself is certainly reporting accurately from its position in the garden here. Because as I repeat, we are shaded slightly with about a quarter of a mile as the crow flies from the sea, and we are shaded by sideways from other houses and a little bit from trees at the far end of the open space. So I'm pretty pleased with that. It seems to be accurate. It tallies up and correlates with the UK Met Office figures. So yeah, all good. Well, in summary, I found the unit to be functioning very well indeed, and the data that's being generated by the 5-in-1 Weather Centre correlates absolutely accurately with the data generated by the UK Met Office. So what I'd say is that the unit is doing exactly what it says on the box. I'm learning things about the weather every day and the environment, and I found the whole process very, very interesting. So thanks to my family for buying me this unit. Perhaps maybe now I won't go on as much about the weather in the future, as I've got my own in-house weather centre. Anyhow, there you go. That's my very basic belt and braces take on the Bresser 5-in-1 Weather Centre. If you've bought one, enjoy it, learn, because every day is a school day as far as I'm concerned. And maybe in 1 year's time, I'll do another video to see how the unit's still performing. Thanks for watching in, and see you soon. Bye-bye.